Asterisk the doorbell rings. Once. Twice. 3 times in rapid succession. Mark freezes, phone still clutched in his hand, the evidence of his catastrophic mistake glowing on the screen. Outside stands Eliza Chen, brilliant, intimidating, and undeniably beautiful, the last person who should have received that message. The same Eliza who signs his paychecks. The same Eliza now waiting on his doorstep at 9 p.m. on a Friday night. If you've ever sent a text to the wrong person, you know that stomach-dropping feeling. But trust me, it's never been this bad, asterisk. Hey everyone. If you're enjoying this story of workplace mishaps and unexpected romance, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more content that'll have you cringing, laughing, and maybe even crying along with our characters. Now, let's dive deeper into Mark's disaster. Mark Sullivan had mastered many things in his 34 years, coding complex software systems, making perfect dinosaur-shaped pancakes, and memorizing every line of his daughter's favorite bedtime stories. What he hadn't mastered was the art of dating as a single father, or apparently, the simple task of checking who he was texting before hitting send. Daddy, who's at the door? 6-year-old Lily appeared in the hallway, clutching her stuffed triceratops, her dark curls wild from the pillow. Just, someone from work, sweetie. Go back to bed, okay? I'll be up in a minute to finish our story. The doorbell rang again, more insistent this time. Coming. Mark called, his voice cracking. He glanced at his reflection in the hallway mirror, faded Star Wars t-shirt, flannel pajama pants, 3-day stubble. Perfect attire for facing the woman who, just 20 minutes ago, had received a message meant for his friend Dave. She's gorgeous, intimidating as hell, and way out of my league. But man, when she smiled at me in the meeting today. I haven't felt this way since before Sarah left. Is it crazy to think about asking my boss out for coffee? Mark took a deep breath and opened the door. Eliza Chen stood on his porch, still in her work clothes, charcoal pencil skirt, cream blouse, hair pulled back in a sleek ponytail. But something was different. The cool, composed CTO who commanded boardrooms with quiet authority looked nervous. Hi, she said, tucking a strand of hair behind her ear. I got your message. I am so sorry, Mark blurted. It wasn't meant for you. I was texting my friend, and I wasn't paying attention, Anne. Can I come in? Eliza interrupted. Unless this is a bad time. Mark glanced back at Lily, who was now sitting on the bottom stair, watching with undisguised curiosity. Sure. Of course. He stepped aside, mentally cataloging the disaster zone that was his living room, Lily's toys scattered across the floor, dishes from dinner still on the coffee table, laundry half folded on the couch. You have a lovely home, Eliza said, and Mark couldn't tell if she was being polite or sarcastic. Thanks. It's it's pretty much always like this. He managed a self-deprecating smile. This is my daughter, Lily. Lily, this is Ms. Chen from my work. You're pretty, Lily said, staring up at Eliza with frank assessment. Daddy thinks so too. He told Uncle Dave. Mark closed his eyes briefly, wishing the floor would open up and swallow him whole. To his surprise, Eliza laughed, a genuine, warm sound he'd never heard at the office. Thank you, Lily. I think your dad is pretty nice looking too. Mark's eyes snapped open. Lily, it's way past your bedtime, he said, finding his voice. Say goodnight to Ms. Chen. But the story. I'll be up in 5 minutes. Promise. After Lily reluctantly trudged upstairs, an awkward silence fell between the adults. I should have called first, Eliza said finally. This was impulsive. No, it's fine. I'm the one who should be apologizing. That message was completely inappropriate, and I understand if you want to report me to HR or Mark. Eliza's voice was soft but firm. I didn't come here to reprimand you. You didn't? She shook her head, a small smile playing at her lips. I came because I've been trying to figure out how to ask you out for months. Mark stared at her, certain he'd misheard. What? You're brilliant at what you do. Your team respects you. You're kind, you're funny when you think no one important is listening, and the way you talk about your daughter. She shrugged. I've been interested for a while. But I'm your boss, and I didn't want to make things uncomfortable. And my accidental text didn't make things uncomfortable? Mark asked incredulously. It made things clear, Eliza corrected. Now I know I'm not the only one feeling this, whatever this is. Mark ran a hand through his hair, trying to process what was happening. This is surreal. I've spent the last hour contemplating a career change and possibly moving to another state. Eliza laughed again, and Mark decided he wanted to hear that sound more often. I know this is complicated, she said. The company has policies about disclosure and reporting lines. But if you're interested, I think we could figure something out. Daddy. Lily's voice floated down from upstairs. You promised. Mark glanced toward the stairs, then back at Eliza. I should. Go, she said. Your daughter needs you. Would you like to stay? I mean, not for. I just mean, we could talk more after I get her settled. Eliza hesitated, then nodded. I'd like that. As Mark headed upstairs, his mind racing with possibilities, he couldn't help but think that sometimes, the worst mistakes led to the best opportunities. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. The next morning, Mark woke to the sound of Lily's cartoons and the smell of coffee. He sat up, momentarily disoriented, then remembered the night before. After putting Lily to bed, he and Eliza had talked for hours, about work, about their lives, about the complications of dating as a single parent and as a woman in a leadership position. She'd left just after midnight, with a promise to call him over the weekend to figure out next steps. No kiss, no dramatic declarations, just a genuine connection and the potential for something more. Mark padded into the kitchen, expecting to find the coffee pot he'd programmed the night before. Instead, he found Eliza at his kitchen table, drinking coffee with Lily, who was explaining the intricate hierarchy of her dinosaur collection. Morning, Eliza said, looking up with a smile. Hope you don't mind. I brought bagels. You came back, Mark said, surprised. I forgot my phone, she explained, pointing to the device on the counter. And then Lily invited me for breakfast. She knows all about the dinosaurs, Daddy, Lily said excitedly. Even more than you. Mark looked between his daughter and his boss, no, not just his boss anymore, and felt something he hadn't experienced in a long time, hope. Is that right? He said, pouring himself a cup of coffee. Well, I guess I have a lot to learn. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. The following weeks weren't without challenges. Mark and Eliza had to navigate company policies, which meant a formal disclosure to HR and a reorganization so that Mark reported to another director. There were raised eyebrows and office gossip, of course, but their colleagues adjusted surprisingly quickly. The bigger challenge was balancing their developing relationship with Mark's responsibilities as a father and Eliza's demanding role as CTO. Date nights were often interrupted by work emergencies or Lily's nightmares. Eliza, who had always prioritized her career, had to learn to share space with a child who didn't always respect professional boundaries. 3 months after the fateful text message, Mark and Eliza sat on his back porch, watching Lily chase fireflies in the twilight. I have a confession, Eliza said, twirling her wine glass between her fingers. Should I be worried? Mark asked, only half joking. That night, when I showed up at your door. I almost didn't come. What changed your mind? Eliza was quiet for a moment, watching Lily. I've spent my whole life playing it safe emotionally. Taking risks at work, sure, but not with my heart. And then I got your message, and I thought, what if this is one of those moments? The kind you look back on and think, that could have changed everything. Mark reached for her hand. I'm glad you took the risk. Even with all the complications? Especially with all the complications. He smiled. They're what make it real. Lily ran up to them, hands cupped around something. Look. I caught one. She opened her hands slightly, revealing the gentle glow of a firefly. Beautiful, Eliza said softly. But you should let it go now. Some things are meant to be free. Lily nodded solemnly and opened her hands. The firefly lingered for a moment on her palm before taking flight, its light blinking as it rose into the darkening sky. Mark watched his daughter's face, alight with wonder, then turned to see the same expression mirrored on Eliza's face. In that moment, he knew that sometimes the worst mistakes, a misdirected text, a moment of professional impropriety, could lead to the most unexpected blessings. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. 6 months later, Mark stood in his kitchen, watching Eliza help Lily with her science project. They were building a model of the solar system, and Eliza was explaining the relative distances between planets with the same passion she brought to technical presentations at work. His phone buzzed with a text from Dave, "How's it going with the boss lady?" Mark smiled and typed back, "She's not my boss anymore. But she might be the love of my life." He hit send, double-checking the recipient this time. Some mistakes were worth making only once. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. 1 year to the day after the text message that changed everything, Mark and Eliza sat on the same porch, this time with Lily asleep inside and a small velvet box between them on the table. "Are you sure about this?" Mark asked. "Your career has always been your priority, and I come with a lot of baggage." "You and Lily aren't baggage," Eliza said firmly. "You're the family I never knew I wanted." "We're a package deal," Mark warned. "Dinosaur pancakes, science fair projects, princess movies, and all. I wouldn't have it any other way." Eliza smiled. "Besides, I've gotten pretty good at dinosaur pancakes. Better than me, according to Lily. She's a tough critic." Mark took a deep breath and opened the box, revealing a simple but elegant ring. Then, "Eliza Chen, would you do me the honor of becoming my wife and Lily's stepmom? Warning, this position comes with irregular hours, frequent messes, and a lifetime supply of love from both of us." Tears shimmered in Eliza's eyes as she nodded. "Yes. To all of it." As he slipped the ring onto her finger, Mark thought about the journey that had brought them here, from colleagues to co-parents to partners. All because of one misdirected text message and the courage to open the door when opportunity knocked. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. The wedding was small but joyful, with Lily as the flower girl and Dave as best man. In his toast, Dave couldn't resist mentioning the text message that started it all. "To Mark and Eliza," he said, raising his glass. "Proof that sometimes the universe knows exactly who should receive our messages, even when we don't." Later, as they danced under strings of lights in Mark's backyard, now their backyard, Eliza leaned her head against his shoulder. "Do you ever wonder what would have happened if you double-checked that text?" she asked. "All the time," Mark admitted. "But then I remember something my dad used to say, the best things in life aren't planned, they're the beautiful accidents that happen while you're busy making other plans." Eliza smiled up at him. "I like that. Here's to beautiful accidents. And to checking who you're texting," Mark added with a grin. Across the yard, Lily was teaching Eliza's parents a complicated dance move, her laughter carrying through the evening air. Mark watched his daughter, their daughter now, and felt a completeness he'd never expected to find again after Sarah left. Sometimes, the worst mistakes led to the best outcomes. Sometimes, a single text could change everything. And sometimes, love arrived exactly when you needed it most, even if it came in the form of your boss ringing your doorbell on a Friday night. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. If you've enjoyed this journey of unexpected love and second chances, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more stories that remind us how life's biggest disasters can sometimes turn into our greatest blessings. Remember, it's often our mistakes and vulnerabilities that lead us to our most authentic connections. Share your own beautiful accident stories in the comments below, and until next time, keep your heart open to the unexpected knocks at your door. They just might change your life. ******. 5 years later, Mark stood in the doorway of Lily's bedroom, watching as Eliza helped their 11-year-old daughter prepare for her science fair presentation. The solar system model they'd built together years ago still hung from the ceiling, now joined by various other scientific projects they'd completed as a family. "Dad, stop hovering," Lily said without looking up from her laptop. "We've got this under control." "Just making sure you're not staying up too late," Mark replied, exchanging an amused glance with Eliza. "And checking if 3-year-old Tornado Tommy is still asleep." "He's out like a light," Eliza confirmed. "I checked the monitor." Their son had been an unexpected but welcome addition to their family 2 years after the wedding. Tommy had Eliza's analytical mind and Mark's boundless energy, a combination that kept them constantly on their toes. "One more run-through, then bed," Eliza promised, squeezing Lily's shoulder. "You're going to blow them away tomorrow." Mark lingered a moment longer, taking in the scene. Lily had grown so much in these 5 years, not just physically, but in confidence and character. Having Eliza in her life had given her a role model who showed her that women could be both brilliant in their careers and present as parents. The bond between them was something Mark had never dared hope for when he was struggling as a single dad. Later that night, as they lay in bed, Eliza scrolled through work emails while Mark finished a chapter of his book. "The Anderson project is finally wrapping up," she said. "I was thinking maybe we could take that trip to Yellowstone this summer. Lily's been asking to see the geysers, and Tommy's dinosaur obsession isn't going anywhere." "Sounds perfect," Mark agreed, setting his book aside. "Remember when we could barely coordinate our schedules for a dinner date?" Eliza smiled, putting her phone on the nightstand. "We've come a long way from accidental text messages and awkward porch conversations." Speaking of messages. Mark reached for his phone. "Dave just texted. He and May are expecting." "That's wonderful. We should have them over to celebrate." Mark nodded, typing a quick congratulatory response. "It's funny to think that if I hadn't sent that embarrassing text to you by mistake, Dave might never have met your friend May at our wedding." "The ripple effect of one mortifying moment," Eliza mused. "I should send you a thank you card." "I think you've thanked me plenty," Mark said, leaning over to kiss her. As they settled into sleep, Mark reflected on the journey that had brought them here. From the panic of that mistaken text to the peace of their shared life. From professional boundaries to the family they'd built together. From a single dad's disaster to the most fortunate mistake he'd ever made. Sometimes life's biggest embarrassments led to its greatest joys. And sometimes, the wrong person getting your message turned out to be exactly right. ******. If this story touched your heart, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content that celebrates life's unexpected turns and the beautiful connections they create. Remember that our mistakes don't define us, sometimes they lead us exactly where we need to be. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.